All right, so we're diving into AI for humanity today, and I'm really curious to explore how this can really transform the workplace.
Yeah.
Not just make it efficient, but make it a truly fair place to work for everybody.
I think what's fascinating about AI for humanity is it's really about kind of reshaping our whole understanding of AI
Okay.
in our work lives. And especially, I think it's urgent now because it's already impacting hiring, promotions, even performance reviews.
Yeah, those are some huge areas.
Absolutely.
So, we've got a lot of research here and expert opinions focused on this idea of organizational justice.
Right.
And I'm curious, is it really more than just being nice to each other at work?
Well,
Is it about making sure that AI actually benefits everyone equally?
it absolutely is. And there are nuances
Okay.
to fairness to consider.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, take distributive fairness.
Okay.
This is really getting at the question. Are the advantages and disadvantages of AI, like promotions or, unfortunately, job losses,
Yeah.
are those being shared equally across the board?
Makes you think about those algorithms they use now to screen people for hiring.
Yeah.
Are they really leveling the playing field?
Yeah.
Or could they actually be biased in some way that we don't even realize and working against certain groups?
And that leads right into that
Yeah.
procedural fairness piece, which is about
Right.
the transparency and the impartiality of the processes themselves.
Not just the outcome, but the process itself.
Precisely.
Okay.
Can we actually understand how the AI is making these impactful decisions?
I was reading about interactional fairness.
Yes.
This is about how people are treated during these AI-driven processes. Is there even a human in the loop anymore?
Exactly.
Oh.
Precisely. Imagine going through a performance review delivered by this cold, impersonal AI.
Oh, gosh.
Even if the outcome is fair,
Right?
the delivery itself could really crush morale,
Yeah.
make people feel completely undervalued. It's kind of dystopian, isn't it?
So where does AI for humanity come in? Is this the guiding principle for using AI ethically?
It is. It's that overarching philosophy that's pushing us to design and utilize AI in a way that benefits all of humanity,
Okay.
not just a select few.
Right.
And this research is pointing to three core pillars that are crucial: governance, technology, and commercialization.
All right, let's break that down.
Okay.
Governance, that sounds like it's all about who's in charge of the AI,
Yeah,
how it's used.
exactly. Are workers part of the decision-making process?
Okay.
Do companies actually have ethical guidelines in place?
Mhm.
It's about accountability, right?
Right.
Making sure that the power of AI isn't just concentrated in the hands of a few.
And then technology.
Yeah.
This is where we're making sure that the AI systems themselves
Yes,
are designed fairly.
absolutely. And there are some incredible advancements happening in this space. So can we make AI systems that are transparent so we can actually understand their inner workings?
Mhm.
Can we build in safeguards that can detect and mitigate bias?
Right.
It's a really exciting area of research.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about commercialization? How does that factor into fairness?
So this is where things get interesting
Okay.
because it challenges the assumption that ethical AI has to be less profitable.
Okay.
It's about creating AI businesses that prioritize fairness as much as profits.
I've heard this term Human-AI Symbiotic Intelligence, or HASI. It sounds kind of like a sci-fi movie.
It does. It does.
Is that what we're talking about here?
It may sound futuristic,
Yeah.
but it's a really crucial concept.
Right.
And basically, it's not about AI replacing us. It's about AI and humans collaborating
Okay.
to enhance each other's strengths.
So instead of AI making the decisions,
Yeah.
it helps us make better decisions.
Exactly.
Got it.
And when it comes to fairness, HSI could be a real game changer.
Right.
So think about AI tools that could help identify and mitigate bias in, say, performance reviews or promotion decisions.
Right.
It's about creating systems that work with us, not against us.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But realistically, building fair AI systems just sounds so complex.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges?
You're right. It is a very complex landscape. And I think one of the biggest hurdles is balancing fairness with business goals.
Right.
How do we ensure that companies are motivated to prioritize fairness, even if it might impact their short-term profits?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tough question with no easy answers.
And how do we make sure that workers have a voice in all of this?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are actually, experiencing the impact of this technology firsthand.
Absolutely. And this is where unions and worker advocacy groups become so crucial.
Okay.
They need to be advocating for fair AI implementation and protecting workers' rights.
Right.
It's about making sure everyone is at the table.
As AI gets more and more sophisticated, I think it's really important that we don't just let it run on autopilot, and make all the decisions. Like humans need to stay in the loop, right?
I completely agree. Maintaining human oversight is critical. Even as AI systems become more advanced, humans need to stay accountable for the decisions that are being made, even if they're informed by AI.
This is all so important. And honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed. Like, where do we even start? Is it even possible to make these systems truly fair?
I think it all starts with awareness.
Okay.
By understanding the different facets of fairness
Right.
and the potential impact of AI in our workplaces.
Yeah.
Then we can start asking the right questions and demanding better from the companies creating and deploying these technologies.
So that's the first step.
That's a huge first step.
And what about us as individuals? Like,
Yeah.
what can we do to promote AI for humanity in our own workplaces?
Stay informed, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to speak up.
Okay.
If you see something that seems unfair or biased, challenge it.
Okay.
Ask questions about how AI is being used in your workplace.
Yeah.
What steps are being taken to ensure fairness? Your voice really matters.
It feels like we're really just kind of scratching the surface here
We are.
of a much bigger conversation about AI and fairness in the workplace.
Yeah,
This is just the beginning, right?
absolutely. The future of work is being shaped right now, and it's our collective responsibility
Yeah.
to make sure the future is fair.
Yeah.
And just for everyone, it's a conversation we need to keep having.
This has been really insightful. I feel like we're just starting to peel back the layers of this really complex issue. So let's continue our deep dive into AI for humanity and the future of work after a quick break.
Sounds great. I'm ready to dive back in. There's so much more to explore.
All right, we'll be right back. So we're back and, continuing this deep dive into AI for humanity.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating discussion so far.
Right.
Going from these kind of philosophical foundations to the real world challenges and the exciting opportunities, I think, of building this future.
Yeah.
Where AI really works for everyone.
Before the break, we were talking about the challenges of building and implementing fair AI systems.
Right.
And one thing that really stood out to me was this idea of sustainable AI governance.
Yes.
It seems like it's not just about setting rules,
Yeah.
but it's about making sure that those rules are actually enforced and that everybody has a say in the process.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
This new research really emphasizes the need for what they call multi-stakeholder governance.
Okay.
Which means bringing together a really diverse group of people. So workers, companies, policymakers, ethicists.
Okay.
To create a more inclusive and accountable system.
So it's not just the tech companies making all the decisions
Exactly.
behind closed doors.
We need these diverse perspectives to ensure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about creating a system where everyone feels heard and represented.
But how do you actually make that happen?
Right.
Getting all those different groups on the same page?
Yeah.
It seems almost impossible.
It's definitely a challenge, but there are already some really promising initiatives that are in motion.
Okay.
For example, some labor unions are starting to negotiate for algorithmic impact assessments as part of their collective bargaining agreements.
Algorithmic impact assessments.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
What is that?
Essentially, it's a way to evaluate the potential impact of AI systems on workers before they're implemented.
Got it.
So they examine things like fairness, bias, the potential for job displacement.
Right.
It's about proactively addressing these potential issues
Right.
rather than reacting to them after the fact.
So being ahead of the game.
Exactly.
That sounds like a really smart way to make sure that workers' voices are actually heard.
Yeah.
But what about the technology itself?
Right.
Are there any breakthroughs in AI development that could actually, help promote fairness?
Absolutely. One area that's generating a lot of excitement is the development of explainable AI or XAI.
So instead of AI being this kind of mysterious black box, where we don't know how it's making decisions, explainable AI can actually tell us why it reached a certain conclusion.
Precisely. And this is a total game changer for fairness.
Okay.
Because it allows us to pinpoint and then correct for bias.
So for example,
So let's say an AI system is being used for hiring.
Okay.
If we can understand the system's reasoning,
Right.
we can ensure that it's not unfairly discriminating against certain groups of people.
Got it.
It's about bringing this transparency to these systems and holding them accountable.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But building those systems, building explainable AI systems, it just sounds really challenging.
It is, but there have been remarkable strides made in this field
Okay.
in recent years.
Okay.
It's something that researchers and companies are investing a lot of time and resources into.
Okay.
The potential benefits for fairness and accountability are huge.
It seems like we're really like on the cusp of some huge changes
Yeah.
in how AI is developed and used. But I'm also kind of like curious about the potential downsides.
Yeah.
Are there any risks we need to be aware of? Like, could this backfire?
I think one of the biggest risks is that AI could actually exacerbate existing inequalities
Oh, wow.
if it's not developed and deployed responsibly.
Okay.
So, for instance, if AI systems are trained on biased data,
Right.
they could perpetuate and even amplify those biases,
Okay.
leading to unfair outcomes.
So it really comes down to the data.
It's a crucial point. Data bias is a major concern
Yeah.
when we're talking about AI fairness.
So how do you address that?
Well, it's one of the most critical challenges, and it's not just about the data itself. It's about who is collecting the data, who is cleaning the data, who is labeling the data,
Right.
and who is ultimately deciding which data to use
Uh-huh.
to train these AI systems.
Right.
All of these decisions can introduce bias.
So it's not just a technical problem, it's a human problem.
Exactly. And that's why it's so vital to have diverse voices involved in the development and deployment of these AI systems.
Right.
We need people from different backgrounds, different perspectives to help identify and mitigate this bias.
That makes sense.
It's about making sure that these systems reflect the diversity of the people that they're designed to serve.
This all makes me think about like the importance of education and training. Like if we want people to use AI responsibly,
Absolutely.
ethically, we need to make sure they understand, the risks
Yeah.
and how to mitigate them.
I completely agree. We need to start educating people about AI fairness from a young age.
Wow. Oh,
And we need to provide ongoing training and development opportunity for professionals who are working with these AI systems.
right.
It's about empowering people to use these tools responsibly and ethically.
This AI for humanity thing, it really feels like more than just a slogan.
Yeah, I think so too.
It feels like a call to action for all of us to really think critically about how we want to shape the future of AI
It is a call to action.
and our relationship with it.
It's about recognizing that we have a choice
Mm-hmm.
in how we develop and deploy these technologies. Right. And ultimately, it's about ensuring that AI is used to create a better future for everyone.
Okay, so before I wrap up, I'm curious about potential solutions. We've talked about a lot of challenges here.
Right.
What are some of the most promising, solutions or initiatives that you're seeing emerging
Yeah.
in the field of AI for humanity? Are there any reasons to be optimistic?
There are. I think one really interesting development is this rise of what they're calling community-based AI.
Okay.
And this is where communities are actually actively involved
Okay.
in the design and development of AI systems
Wow.
that address their specific needs and priorities.
Okay, so instead of it being imposed on communities from the outside,
Right.
it's being developed in collaboration with the people who will be most affected by it.
Exactly. It's about bringing AI development closer to the people that it impacts the most.
So it's more of a bottom-up approach.
Exactly. And this is such a powerful way to ensure that AI is actually used to address real-world problems and that it benefits those who need it most.
Right.
It's about democratizing AI development and empowering communities to shape their own technological futures.
That's amazing. Are there any specific examples of these community-based AI projects
There are many great examples out there,
that you find particularly promising?
but one that comes to mind is a project that is using AI to help farmers in developing countries
Okay.
to improve their crop yields.
Wow.
And the AI system was developed in close collaboration with the farmers themselves,
Okay.
taking into account their specific knowledge and needs.
Right.
And it's just a fantastic example of how AI can be used to empower communities and promote sustainable development.
So cool.
It's about using technology to solve real-world problems in a way that's sensitive to local contexts and needs.
I also really like this idea of participatory design,
Yes?
where, the users are actually involved in the design process. It's like
Yeah.
moving away from this top-down approach where a
Right.
few experts make all the decisions to something that's more collaborative and inclusive.
You're right. Participatory design is another key element of AI for humanity
Okay.
because It acknowledges that the people who will actually be using these systems often have the most valuable insights into the potential problems and solutions.
Right.
It's about tapping into that collective intelligence of the community.
This all sounds really promising, but I'm sure there are still challenges.
Of course.
What are some of the biggest hurdles that we still need to address to really make AI for humanity a reality?
I think one of the biggest challenges is access to resources.
Okay.
So community-based AI projects and participatory design initiatives, they often require funding, technical expertise, and other resources
Yeah.
that can be difficult to obtain,
Right.
especially for marginalized communities.
Uh-huh.
So it's a question of equity and making sure that everyone has the tools and the resources to participate in shaping this technology.
And what about data privacy?
Yeah.
As we're collecting, more and more data to train these systems, how do we make sure that people's privacy is actually protected,
Right.
especially, in these vulnerable communities?
That's a critical issue, and we need to develop strong data privacy policies and regulations that protect people's personal information and prevent it from being misused.
Right.
And we need to make sure that communities are informed about how their data is being used
Yeah.
and have a say in how it's managed.
So it's about transparency and control.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Giving people that agency over their own data.
This AI for humanity, it's a complex issue. It is, but it's one of the most important conversations that we can be having right now.
I agree.
The decisions we make today will really shape the future
Yeah.
of AI and its impact on society.
For generations to come.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening for me. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the challenges and the opportunities associated with AI for humanity.
It's been a pleasure discussing this with you. It's a topic that I'm deeply passionate about, and I'm always encouraged when I see people engaging with these important questions.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We hope you've learned something new and feel empowered to take action. The future of AI is in our hands. Let's make it a future we can all be proud of. Okay. So we're back for the final part of our deep dive into AI for humanity. And wow, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. We've covered so much.
Right.
From like the fundamental philosophy to the real world challenges and the incredible potential of creating a future where AI really benefits everyone.
One thing that keeps coming back to me is this idea of a paradigm shift. It's not just about like making a few tweaks to existing systems, but really like fundamentally changing how we think about AI and its place in society. It feels much bigger than just like, tweaking a few algorithms here and there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think we need to move beyond this kind of narrow focus on efficiency and productivity.
Okay.
And really adopt this more holistic view that considers the social, the ethical, even the spiritual implications of AI.
Spiritual implications? That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, consider this. AI is forcing us to confront some pretty profound questions about what it means to be human.
Right.
What are our unique capabilities?
Right.
What are our values? What is our purpose in a world where machines can increasingly perform tasks that were once considered uniquely human?
Right.
These are questions that philosophers have grappled with for centuries.
Yeah.
And now AI is bringing them to the forefront.
So AI for humanity is about more than just like creating fair algorithms. It is about shaping the future of our species.
That's a powerful way to put it. And it's not a conversation that can be left to tech companies or governments.
Right.
This requires the collective wisdom and input of everyone.
So where do we even go from here? What are the next steps in this journey towards AI for humanity? It feels like we've identified the problem, but what are the solutions?
I think one of the most crucial steps is to continue building bridges between different disciplines and communities. We need ethicists talking to engineers, policymakers talking to artists, workers talking to CEOs.
Right.
It's about breaking down these silos and forging a shared vision.
Yeah, it's recognizing that this isn't just a tech issue, it's a human issue.
Exactly. And that shared vision, it needs to be grounded in our common values, things like fairness, justice, human dignity.
Education and awareness seem really key too.
Absolutely.
We need to empower people to understand AI, to ask critical questions, to demand better from the technologies that are shaping our world.
I couldn't agree more. AI literacy is essential for everyone, not just tech experts.
Right.
We need to demystify AI, make it accessible, empower people to be active participants in shaping its development and deployment.
This deep dive has been so inspiring, but I also have this sense of urgency, like we have a real opportunity here
Yeah,
to shape the future of AI,
we do.
but it feels like that window is closing pretty quickly.
I think you're right. The decisions that we're making right now,
Yeah.
they're going to have ripple effects
Yeah.
for years to come.
Okay.
We need to act now with intention and purpose
Hmm.
to ensure that AI is used to create a future that benefits all of humanity.
So for our listeners who are feeling inspired and maybe a little overwhelmed, what is like one concrete action they can take
Yeah.
today to contribute to this movement toward AI for humanity?
Start by having conversations. Talk to your friends, family, colleagues, community members about these issues. Share what you've learned. Ask questions. Listen to different perspectives. The more we talk about these issues,
Yeah.
the more likely we are to find solutions.
You don't have to be an expert to participate
Not at all.
in this conversation. We all have a stake in the future of AI.
We do.
This has been an incredible deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your insights with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you've learned something new and feel empowered to take action. The future of AI is in our hands. Let's make it a future we can all be proud of.